My wife is back to work, the kids are back to school, and I am back to work. So I spent the first hour using pen and paper to go through emails and write down actually stuff that I needed to do. I have just been recording the first voiceovers of 2018 for a Danish film, and I'm also determined to stick to a new sort of schedule, I guess, to my day. So the idea is that I will work from like 9 until 11:30, and then I'll go for a run and have lunch and do all of that by 12:30, which leaves me like a good solid couple of hours in which to work before picking up the kids. So it is now 11:30. Next week, of course, I'll have forgotten this, but that's the plan. The other thing I'm also consciously going to try and do this year is have a lunch break. I always eat lunch, but actually have a break. Inspired by Frankie over at Love Audrey, who was talking about this towards the end of last year.
That they can be avoided through good work posture and by regularly changing your work position
Or doing stretching exercises. Work position. Or doing stretching exercises. Spent a bit of time this morning, as I like to on a Thursday, in a coffee shop. I'm working on a blog post, or not a blog post actually, easier than that. I was contributing to a blog post where loads of freelancers are talking about their resolutions. Where do you stand on goals, or not goals, resolutions? It's a different word, isn't it? I think I more go along the lines of, rather than just starting something crazily new that you'll probably not keep up in the new year, I really just want to build on the stuff that I've been thinking about for quite a while. Building fitness into a habit. Also, less about, doubling my income, more about getting smarter with the way I work. So again, trying to figure out better ways to focus and be productive, like I've spoken about before, but also making the most out of virtual assistants help. And my third is basically promoting the Being Freelance podcast and these vlogs properly. Basically, I want everybody in the world who is freelance to know that this exists. And if they then choose not to listen or watch, then fine. But if they don't know it exists in the first place, then that's a wasted opportunity. It's Friday, and basically I've started. Was I boring you? Sorry. It's Friday, and I've started inviting the next batch of guests for the Being Freelance podcast, and I figured as part of my, trying to work smarter thing, I would set up a Calendly account so that instead of going back and forth with emails saying, is this time good for you? Is this time good for you? What time zone are you in? And all of that, I can send people a link which is linked to my calendar. Now, I almost did this a couple of years ago when I had a guest on the podcast who sent me a link to her Calendly. It is so good for setting up like client calls and things like that. The reason I didn't at the time was because it didn't work with iCloud, which is how I use my calendar. I don't use Google Calendar. So that's why I didn't bother. But now it does. So I'm going to give it a go because I've already had a reply from somebody saying, yeah, I'd be up for being on the podcast. So, yeah, let's give this a go. Well, that was pretty easy. I could have had you can actually have 15, 30, 60-minute meetings. You can have whatever you want. I've created a custom one, obviously, then sort of said when I'm available. And for that matter, when I'm not available. So I recommend it. It's worth having a go. You can even collect payments through it. So if you were, giving consultations or something like that, people could pay you via it, apparently. Hey look, just got a new email. Being Freelance Podcast Record, invitee, Dan Bramall, when it's going to happen, and it has automatically been added to my calendar. So how about that? That's kind of cool. I know you might be watching this thinking, God, the rest of us had Calendly years ago. Just really streamlines the whole process, doesn't it? It's worth checking out. It's good. I'll put a link below.
So Daddy, these are our jobs. So you do the sewing and I do the picking out of the holes.
So it's been a weird, short week because it only really started on Wednesday. Itching to crack on with everything, and I hope you are too. Hope you've had a good first week back. Overall, it's nice to be back up and running.